My one-hit kill sister. We leave our false protagonist in a world where he is a weakling, and his sister, the true protagonist of the series, is endowed with all the talent, intelligence, magic, and strength that her brother does not have. But Asahi Ikusaba is a very persistent person who refuses to be carried away by circumstances and is determined to get stronger and level up in the game little by little until he reaches a sufficient degree of fighting with which he can fend for himself. This is how we return to find Asahi struggling to level up, and in his attempt to do so, he goes in search of a goblin to see if he can kill him on his own and without the help of his sister. After attacking the goblin, he realizes that his power is not enough, and many other goblins join the attack. Asahi runs out with all his might to try and escape the goblins, but when he is about to be overtaken by the pack of goblins, his sister, the most powerful being in this new world, comes out to meet him, and as she is accustomed us, she arrives to save the day. Maya, without hesitation, makes a spectacular leap into the air and effortlessly summons the power of magic, and with a hurricane of fire, she eliminates all the goblins in one hit. Then Maya begins with her incestuous tastes before her brother. She tells him that he has a nice butt and starts groping it. Someone stop this depravity! Asahi resigns himself and lets his sister do what she wants with him, while he thinks that he should do something to become independent from his sister and thus avoid the constant sexual harassment to which he is subjected. Even though Asahi started this adventure with the lowest level of all, he has already made it to level 10 and is very excited about it. The brothers start arguing about why Asahi doesn't level up faster and start debating different ways for Asahi to level up. Maya tells him that he shouldn't worry because she will always be there to save him and he doesn't need to get stronger. She then proposes to her brother to attack her. Since she has a high level, if she lets herself be won by him, Asahi will be able to level up very quickly. But our protagonist resists, saying that he couldn't attack his sister since he could hurt her. Faced with the statement, which is ridiculous since Asahi has the strength of an ant with anemia, Maya jumps with joy to see that her brother cares about her. Then that same emotion makes her throw herself at her brother, and the incestuous behavior continues. As Asahi tries to escape from his sister's arms, he manages to see in his control panel an ability that can help him escape Maya's sick love, so he selects to learn to teleport and can finally get rid of his sister's arms. Asahi thinks that he has won for the first time, but when he tries to escape again, he realizes that he doesn't have enough magic to execute the power again and ends up in the incestuous arms of his sister. Asahi has a big problem since his sister's obsessive love for him doesn't let him fend for himself, so he begins to devise ideas to be able to become independent from her. At that moment, it occurs to him that having a team could be a good solution to help him become more self-sufficient. Asahi wonders if it's better to change classes. He might contribute more to his team as support. In the end, he goes to Tanya to find out more about belonging to a team. Tanya tells him that the best of all teams is the Balmung clan, who went to face the Demon King in past chapters. However, Tanya comes up with gossip and tells him that the Balmung clan is missing after the failure of their mission, where they were about to lose their lives before a very dangerous enemy. As Asahi returns to the tavern, he sees that a group of bandits is hassling a drunk. Asahi cannot let them hurt him and intervenes by throwing stones at them. The bandits attack him, but the drunkard jumps and with an incredible kick gets rid of the three. The drunk turns out to be Siegfried, a leader of the Balmung clan. Siegfried reveals to him that his mission failed and that he was defeated by a very powerful demon. He now lives his days drunk in the streets crying about his failure. Asahi tries to encourage him and remind him of the good things he experienced with his team and why he should keep it. But Siegfried reveals the truth, tells him that Mimosa loves parties and spent all his money on gigolos. The elf Shunlei always scolds him, saying that she is over 150 years old and that's why she's right, while the tank Gordon has communication problems, and proof of this is that he's never taken off his cap and no one knows his true face. What kind of anime is this with psychologically damaged people and women who harass minors? Asahi goes back to Tanya and asks if there is any team for rookies or that accepts low-ranking people. But Tanya tells him that they have an emergency and there is no one who can do this mission. He is the highest rank present in the city. Asahi has to go face a pack of wyverns without her giving him time to tell his sister and having to go face it alone. The wyverns attack Asahi, and when he thinks that he is already dead, Kilmaria arrives to save him. Kilmaria comes to return her insignia, and when she's about to give it to him, more wyverns arrive to attack, but this time it is Maya who intervenes and disappears the monsters once more. When Kilmaria sees Maya, she reveals that she is the reason she came and that it is time for revenge, but Maya has no reason to fight Kilmaria. She then tells her that she is a half-naked cow and that she is not fit for the eyes of her younger brother. As the two warriors engage in an argument over who has the most indecent uniform, Asahi is captured by another wyvern. This causes the two women to bond. They jump into the air and Maya exterminates the wyvern with an electric beam, while Kilmaria is in charge of saving Asahi by catching him in the air so he doesn't crash to the ground. Maya and Kilmaria realize they make a good team. Kilmaria's fascination with the two siblings begins to grow, and she now believes that Asahi only plays weak, but that he has a lot of hidden strength. Kilmaria decides to make a truce with Maya and withdraws from her. While the siblings have a feeling moment where Asahi ends up telling Maya that she's the only thing he needs. This is a serious mistake since Maya interprets that her brother is telling her that she is the most important thing in the world. Maya gets excited about it and tells him that he is the most important thing in the world to her too. Immediately afterward, Maya throws herself on her brother and starts licking and groping him. Asahi tells her that he meant that she is the only person he needs on her team, and Maya replies saying that tonight they will team up and that she won't let him sleep all night. So perverted! I want a woman like that. Tanya starts talking about a mysterious and very old house that was once inhabited by noble people but is now a haunted house with many horror stories driven by the presence of an evil spirit in the house. Luckily for Tanya, Asahi is going to visit her because he has already run out of money and he needs a mission that pays a big reward to continue supporting his life at the inn with his sister. Tanya asks if he wouldn't like to have a house of his own, and Asahi gets excited about the idea of an operations headquarters from where he can leave for all his adventures. Tanya tells him that if he manages to exorcise the house, he can keep it as a reward, but will have to face an evil spirit that has defeated many wizards and warriors in the past. Asahi goes in search of his sister to help in this mission so they can get a house of their own. Maya, realizing that with a house of her own and more privacy, she'll be able to touch her brother more times during the day, is enough motivation for her, and she's super willing to fight against the spirit. When Asahi and Maya arrive at the house, Asahi is about to enter, but when he wants to open the door, he realizes that the entrance is protected with magic. The evil spirit uses the strength of all those who want to enter to prevent them from doing so. The spirit only has to absorb all the energy of whoever tries to enter to assimilate all its power. But Maya is very confident in her power and tells Asahi she will take care of this. When Maya wants to open the door, the spirit absorbs all her power, but ends up vomiting because Maya's power was so great that he couldn't contain it. When the siblings are inside the house, they start talking about each other's fears, and Maya replies that she is afraid that her brother will throw himself at her one day and want to touch her and kiss her. Who is this woman? Asahi replies that he is the one who should be scared of that happening, since it's his sister who is always harassing him and wants to rape him and take away his innocence. Suddenly, the ghost of the house starts throwing things at Asahi, while his sister heals him every time they hit him with different healing potions. The ghost is present, threatening our heroes while Maya prepares to fight and save Asahi, but the ghost realizes Maya's magical power and is surprised to find that this woman is equal to or even stronger than the generals of the Demon King. The ghost begins to possess Maya's body, without her being able to do anything about it. Asahi realizes how dangerous her sister's power is in the hands of someone evil. When the ghost has finished possessing Maya, he threatens Asahi. Asahi only thinks of running away, but realizes that if he doesn't do anything, the world will be in great danger, so he plucks up his courage and confronts his sister. As Maya is about to attack her brother, Kilmaria makes her appearance and taunts Maya for being so weak and possessed by a ghost. Kilmaria is about to start the battle, but Asahi jumps on her to prevent them from fighting inside the house and destroying it. But apparently Asahi didn't just jump on Kilmaria. In the series, they're all perverts! When Asahi gets tired of touching Kilmaria's boobies, she gets up to start her fight against Maya. The two begin a duel to the death through an arm wrestling contest to see who's stronger. The power of the two is great. While Asahi screams and cries desperately so that they don't destroy the house with their immense power, Kilmaria manages to be defeated, and when everything seems to be lost, Maya approaches her brother to kill him. Asahi refuses to lose his sister and tries to get her to react. but Maya stops pretending and expels the ghost inside her. Maya explains that the ghost never possessed her. She was faking it all this time and Killmoria knew it, but they wanted to test her powers for the fun of it. Asahi believes that these women in his life are completely crazy. Maya tells him that he has nothing to worry about, and she throws herself at her brother again to start the daily inappropriate touching. In the end, the two siblings manage to complete the mission and expel the evil spirit, keeping the house as a reward for a successful mission. The next day, we see Asahi visiting his guild and talking with Tanya. She tells him that they have found a door to a large dungeon at the bottom of the Claudius forest. Tanya asks him to check the dungeon and make sure it's safe so that players of lower ranks can use it as a good training ground to improve their skills. Given the apparent simplicity of the mission, Asahi gladly accepts as he won't have to face anything dangerous, just see if the cave is safe for more people. After Tanya flirts with Asahi, telling him that he is one of the strongest heroes of the guild, Asahi sets out to accomplish this mission on his own. He wants to be independent and not have to constantly ask his sister for help. But what Asahi doesn't know is that his sister's obsession with him is incredibly strong, and Maya is following him without him realizing it. When Asahi arrives at the dungeon gates, he realizes that his sister was after him the whole time, and Maya tells him that she won't let anything bad happen to her little brother. Asahi doesn't want Maya to go with him, but there's nothing he can do about it, so they enter the dungeon together. They start exploring all the secret passages of the dungeon, avoiding traps and defense mechanisms until they encounter some living skeletons. Asahi tells his sister that it would be best not to use her magic, as the dungeon walls may collapse while they're inside. Besides, that would make the mission a failure, as the dungeon should be left intact for the novice players to use. So Asahi sets out to fight the skeletons, but they repel his attack very easily. Without giving any time, Maya leaps into the air and defeats them all with a couple of flying kicks. The siblings finally reach the main chamber of the dungeon, but see only an empty golden throne. Maya wonders where the dungeon boss is, while Asahi tells her that there might not be a boss in this dungeon. At that moment, 3 bear cubs appear, and Asahi thinks that they may be the offspring of the giant bear that Killmoria killed in the forest in previous chapters. Asahi thinks that if they open the dungeon for beginner players, the cubs could end up getting hurt, so they decide to leave the dungeon and tell the guild that the walls are not safe and that there could be a collapse at any moment. That way the bears would be able to grow up without any problems and their lives will not be in danger. Back home, Asahi is proud to have let the bears live in peace, and Maya comes up with a crazy suspension bridge theory. She says that people who have very strong or dramatic experiences together end up falling in love with each other. What do you think happens next? That's right, Maya jumps back on her brother, perpetuating the incestuous behaviors of the series. Asahi tells her to get off his back and that they better go to the house since they haven't eaten anything all day. That's enough for Maya to disappear into the middle of the forest in search of food for her little brother. Asahi is left alone in the forest, and to his bad luck, a band of wolves surround him. Our protagonist has no other solution but to run as fast as possible and escape from the wolf pack. Maybe the strength of our protagonist is not the best, but it seems that his legs are in good shape, and thanks to that he has managed to escape from the wolves. When he has reached the city and is catching his breath, Asahi meets a very pretty girl. The villager asks him to help her as she's lost and doesn't know where she is. The villager begins to approach Asahi suspiciously, and our hero begins to suspect that she's not a normal villager. Asahi realizes that the villager is Killmoria, and she laughs at the joke, telling him that she used sensory blocking magic to block her true appearance. She then tries to seduce Asahi and asks him if he likes this new appearance. Asahi asks her why she disguised herself, and she replies that she wants to meet humans in their natural habitat, and that the interaction with him and his sister has made her more and more interested in the world of humans. Killmoria convinces Asahi to show her around the city and take her on a tour to learn as much as she can about humans. Asahi ends up accepting the proposal, and the two of them take a walk around the city. After a full day of walking around the city, Asahi and Killmoria climb to the top of a tower to contemplate the city. It is there that Killmoria proposes to Asahi to turn him into a demon so that he has much more strength and can fend for himself. The proposal impresses Asahi and he thinks about it for a few seconds, but then decides that he cannot abandon Maya and go with Killmoria. Kilmaria doesn't understand and says that being human is very complicated and laborious, while Asahi reinforces the idea of staying with Maya since she is his sister and he loves her, despite the many flaws she has and having to be constantly running away from all her harassment and an unhealthy love for him. Back at the guild, Asahi tells Tanya that the best thing to do is secure the dungeon as the walls are not solid and could collapse at any moment. But Tanya suffers an attack of jealousy when she sees Kilmaria, disguised as a villager, clinging to Asahi's arm, pretending to be his lover. Tanya wants nothing to do with the matter and simply gives him his reward for the mission and leaves in annoyance. Kilmaria proposes to Asahi to go out to eat somewhere to celebrate the success of his mission. Asahi accepts since he has realized that he hasn't eaten anything all day. As the two have a pleasant moment, Kilmaria starts drinking too much. Asahi reflects on Kilmaria and laughs to learn that she is a general of the Demon King, but no one suspects it. He then wonders if his sister would be in Kilmaria's favor or if she would join the other members of the guild to kill her. When the couple is walking through the streets of the city, they meet Siegfried, who, upon greeting Kilmaria, perceives her demonic energy and is frightened by the villager, but Asahi calms him down by telling him that she is his friend and there's nothing to be afraid of. Kilmaria is pleased to hear that Asahi considers her his friend. Kilmaria convinces Asahi to continue drinking at his house, and before going inside, Kilmaria proposes to Asahi to play a joke on Maya. She wants to pose as a villager who's now in love with Asahi to make Maya jealous. Asahi accepts, but as soon as they've crossed the threshold of the door, Maya appears with a broom in her hand and gives a good blow to Kilmaria, who falls to the ground half unconscious. Maya says that this disguise can't fool her and that she feels from far away the demonic energy of the half-naked cow. The two women start to fight, but Asahi acts as an intermediary and manages to calm them down so that they can enjoy dinner peacefully. While everyone eats happily, Asahi wonders why all the women in his life have to be so crazy. Then we see a new character named Sophie, who is instructed from a very young age to be a cleric supporting a great hero. Her mother tells her that one day she will meet a great hero and will be ready to join his team. Asahi is fighting a wild wolf. He is leveled up, so we see him confident and with very good moves to dodge the wolf's attacks. He swings a sword at it and finishes it off without much difficulty. Asahi is proud to have done it without his sister's help, and Maya spies on him from the top of the tree, rejoicing for her brother's evolution. But things get complicated when a giant wolf comes to take revenge on the wolf Asahi has just killed. At that moment, Maya intervenes and kills the giant wolf with a single blow. Maya realizes that Asahi is wounded in one of his arms and tries to use an expensive potion to cure him, while Asahi tells her that she's overdoing it and that the wound would pass quickly. Maya asks her if it would help if she licked the wound. What do you think happens? That's right, Maya goes on the attack again to grope her brother as he tries to escape her clutches. Once Asahi is safe, he takes a breath of fresh air in one of the city's alleys. At that moment, a group of warriors pass by him and push him away without the slightest politeness. Asahi stumbles and bumps into Sophie, the little acolyte girl we saw recently, now a full-grown and well-proportioned woman. The truth is that Asahi finds her beautiful and falls in love at first sight. The girl is grateful to Asahi, who gives her a hand to get up, and as a token of gratitude she heals the wound on his arm. Asahi is surprised that she's a healing cleric and introduces himself. She does the same and tells him her name is Sophie Pasteful. Asahi realizes that Sophie belongs to the clan that pushed him before and sees how the group treats her with contempt and always complains about her. Asahi doesn't like this, but before he can do anything about it, Maya shows up and starts to patch up his wound. However, she realizes that it's already healed. Asahi tells her that it was a healer who healed it. Maya doesn't know what a healer is, and Asahi explains that they're very useful in the clans, as they can heal people, reverse poisons or spells. Maya finds this a very useful function, and says that healers are like potions with legs. Asahi heads to his guild, and Tanya tells him that he is just in time to help her, as there is a clan that needs to be rescued from a dungeon. Tanya tells our protagonist that in that dungeon there are monsters of very high levels guarding a lot of gold and silver. All the clans that have gone to fight them have returned defeated, but Tanya's worried because the Black Brigade has not yet returned from the expedition and fears that something might have happened to them. When Asahi hears this, he immediately remembers that this is the name of the clan to which Sophie belongs and immediately sets out to save her. When we see Sophie trying to escape from the dungeon, they've killed all her team and she is the only one who survived the attack. She runs away, but a giant vine has already tracked her and is about to attack her. The vine manages to catch her and we realize that it was a tentacle of a giant carnivorous plant that's about to devour Sophie. Asahi shows up just in time to rescue her, and before Sophie faints, she recognizes him as the ultimate hero. But now our hero has a big problem, as several giant carnivorous plants have awakened to take revenge. It is at that moment that Maya intervenes and solves everything with a single punch. Sophie wakes up and remembers the image of Asahi saving her and is thrilled to know that she's finally found her supreme hero. We then see Maya and Asahi eating at one of the restaurants in town. Maya says that this was a wasted opportunity as they could have brought all the bodies and gained the experience for completing the mission. Asahi doesn't think so. He tells his sister that this is the first time he's behaved like a hero and that he couldn't let Sophie see him like that. Asahi says he was full of snot and carnivorous plant slime and couldn't let Sophie see him like that. But before they know it, Sophie appears in front of them and comes to thank Asahi for saving her. Asahi thinks that the one who saved them was his sister, but he doesn't have to give all the details about the fight. Sophie tells him that she is not only coming to thank him, but also to be a part of his team, as she's always had a dream to serve the supreme hero, and she thinks that Asahi is the supreme hero who will bring peace to the world. Asahi is not very convinced of what Sophie says, but he likes the idea of having a healer on his team. Besides, there's no denying it, the girl is very pretty. Asahi consults with his sister about the possibility of integrating Sophie into the team. To our hero's surprise, Maya accepts Sophie with great joy. She says that since Sophie considers Asahi a hero, that shows the girl's good taste and good judgment, and she is satisfied that she belongs on the team. At that moment, Sophie's old companions appear. They were not dead, or maybe I was too dramatic, but only smeared with mucus and carnivorous plant slime. The members of the Black Patrol start yelling at Sophie, telling her that she is an incompetent rookie who didn't heal them in time. Asahi is about to go out to defend her new member, but we see how Sophie's sweetness and warmth transforms and makes her a fierce woman. Sophie starts yelling at her entire team, telling them that they are a bunch of useless shit and that they don't dare claim anything from her. Everyone is surprised at the explosive character that Sophie kept inside her. But the Black Patrol is not willing to let the offense pass without someone paying the consequences, and they are ready to attack Sophie and Asahi. Without anyone noticing, Maya breaks a jar of pepper and everything goes a blur. She takes advantage of the powder to defeat the Red Patrol in one blow and takes her brother out of the restaurant. When Sophie reacts, she realizes that her former team is defeated, but Maya and Asahi have left. Maya asks Asahi if he wants Sophie on the team, but Asahi says no. He thought she was quiet and shy, but he's realized she's very loose-mouthed and that she can cause a lot of trouble in the future. Maya tells him that she likes her because she identifies him as a hero. Back at the guild, Asahi tells Tanya about a new quest. Tanya gives him the mission to collect honey from killer bees, and Asahi accepts but thinks that he would be safer if he could count on the help of his sister. Tanya tells him that for this mission he should look for a healer, since without healing magic the mission's very difficult. At that moment, Sophie appears and offers to help Asahi, while Tanya, without thinking for a second, assigns them the mission. Asahi and Sophie make a good team and defeat half of the bees without any problem. But Sophie comes up with an idea and she runs off into the forest. A few seconds later, we see Sophie running and asking Asahi for help. There's a gang of killer bees chasing Sophie through the woods. Asahi stands between the bees and Sophie and is willing to fight to the end to save his new teammate, but a giant rock falls from the sky, saving our hero. Thinking that Asahi has used earth element magic to defeat the bees, Sophie offers to go to the guild to leave the honey they collected while Asahi recovers from the battle. Kilmoria and Maya show up and tell Asahi they were fighting in a nearby forest. This is how Asahi understands that the giant stone that saved him was nothing more than collateral damage from the fight between Kilmoria and his sister. In the end, the three decide to go home and make dinner since they're ravenously hungry. Finally, we see Sophie in the guild, waiting until late for Asahi, who hasn't shown up yet. Tanya asks if everything is alright, and Sophie says that she is, and she will stay waiting for Asahi. What is the reason for the wait? What does Sophie want with Asahi? Will our hero get a third waifu? Thank you very much for watching the full video. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and activate all notifications so you won't miss any of our summaries. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and comment what you thought. And if possible, share it with your friends. See you until next time.